Hello, Periscope, hello, Facebook. I'm Ernestine. From Louisiana. I am coming on trying to build um, consistency in my life and a thing, and then I'm going to move on to other areas. So I'll be coming on throughout the month of January, reading and going through a Proverbs a day. Today I'm on Proverbs 6. It's titled Parental Counsel, and then in another um, version of the Bible, it says warning against folly. We're going into the first Proverbs 6, the first verse. It says, "My son, if you have put up security for your neighbor, if you have struck hands with the pledge for another, if you have trapped by what you said, ensnared by your words of the mouth, then do this, my son, to free yourself, since you have fallen into your neighbor's hands. Go humble yourself and press your plea with your neighbor." And it's saying basically, be careful what you agree to. Be careful who you agree to help. Be careful of your word agreements and what you say, because it can entrap you into things that you then didn't expect to be in. Again, just going over the verses 1 through 2. If you have taken responsibility, taken a pledge, undertaken, or get mangled up in, it's saying you've taken you agreed to pay your friend's debt, because probably they couldn't pay it or something. And if you have struck hands, which meaning you shook hands on it, you made an agreement to pledge for a debt for another, for someone outside of your family or stranger. This will entrap you, because you don't know what the debt is. You don't know if you can't pay it or make good on it, if they'll try to cause you to be enslaved to someone or something. God doesn't want it's and the solution is for you to go and humble yourself and plead with your neighbor. You have to go humbly. If you don't, the neighbor can try to manipulate the situation to get something more out of you. God doesn't want us to bow or to be enslaved or at the mercy of another man or another person. He wants to be the only person for us to bow to. He wants us to be in charge over our goings and comings. He don't want your time, money, efforts enslaved to someone else's because you're trying to help out a friend. So, and I guess, well, back then, I guess people say your word was your bond. What you said you was gonna do, you got to do it, or I guess it can tarnish your name and integrity. And it goes to, I guess, kind of the same these days, I guess, because I don't know. I don't think it's held as a greater weight as back then. And then the next couple of verses is dealing with slothfulness or laziness, and this kind of really got me because I deal with that a lot. I don't know, I'm an introvert, and I kind of do a lot of different things, and I use that to isolate myself and kind of not do a lot or sleep when I could be doing something more productive with my time, with my money, with my efforts, with my mind. Um, so sluggardness and laziness, um, those type of people love the ease of life. They live in idleness. They mind no business. They don't have. They may have business, but they're not um, minding it. They're not growing it, producing it, working in it. Sticks to nothingness, brings nothing to pass. Um, it is a sure way of poverty. Not working, having idle hands, idle thoughts. Um, in the later verses, it's talking about sleep. Um, and not using your opportunities wisely can cause poverty. And I found myself, I was like, well, if I would have worked or did something a month ago or a week ago, I could have had the money for this or that, or money probably would have been coming in from a different source if I would have worked or just did more extra. Um, It says, go to the ant, verse 6, go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer, no ruler. It get its stores, its provision in the summer, and gathers its fruits for harvest. How long will you lie there, you sluggard? When will you get up from your sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a bandit, and scarcity like an armed man. And it's telling the slothful or the lazy or the slugger person to go see what the ant's doing. Go study the ant's vision. Go watch his behaviors, his habits, his course of life, his path, and then act on it wisely. Put it to use in your life. Change some things in your life, because normally you see a whole. I know this past it was going into from summer to fall, and I was driving down a particular busy road and where I live, and all I seen was ant beds all up the road. And I was like, why all these ant beds? But they're working for times when it's going to be cold. It's going to be they're working in the hot conditions when it's not popular to work, when you don't see everybody else working. And Louisiana, it gets really hot. Most people try to stay in and stay cool. It's not popular to work in the heat, or it's not fun to work in the heat. It's not fun to work on your business, pass out cards, do things to build your skills up, study your word. Sometimes you may not want to pray when nobody else is praying, seeking God's face when nobody else is doing it. It's not popular sometimes to be holy or to use your opportunities and your times wisely. Today it's popular to be on Instagram, be on social media, and that has taken up a lot of our time with our kids, with our just with life, of not progressing. We can't we gotta get stuck on seeing what somebody else is doing and not focused on what we should be doing, to elevate and uplift ourselves. It's saying the ant has no ruler. He has no overseer. He has no guide, no chief, no commander, no dictator. He has no one telling it where to go, when to go, how to go, what to do. It does it. It does the work. When you are where you're spending most of your time, and I kind of said that with the social media, the ant uses opportunities wisely. What opportunities are you letting slide by because you don't have time for it, or you don't think it's worth it, or why should I do this, or it's not cool to do. Um, it gathered the ant use opportunities wisely. It gathers when the food is plenty and stores up for the winter, when there is lack or when there's a climate change. The ant also knows times and seasons. The sluggard may not, because he's focused on what everybody else is doing. He's being lazy with his time. He don't know it's time to gather. He don't know it's time to store up. It says it stores the food and not eat it. A lot of times we gather our seeds and eat the seed instead of sowing it or storing it up when for a hard time or for when things get rough, because you don't know what the next day holds. You don't know what tomorrow holds. It's like now, guess kind of like it was a government shutdown, and some people was out of the job, and a lot of stuff up in the air, and you don't know what's going to be in the future. You don't know what could happen. So it's just wise and wisdom to look out for the future. Live for today, but look out for the future, but don't eat up everything to where you don't have anything for tomorrow. The ant is diligent, focused, it labors, it works. And like I said, it works in the heat when it's not popular. And that's kind of the solution for a sluggard. You have to be diligent. You have to be consistent. You have to find a routine and stick with it. You have to be focused on the goal. You have to work. Again, you have to work. And this I guess kind of really hit home for me, because I have time to do some things and I don't. And whether it's my insecurities or I don't feel like I'm qualified enough or skilled enough or better than the next person, but if I worked at it, if I used the time that I spent thinking and telling myself that I'm not good enough or I could be better or this or that, then I probably could be better like the other person. I probably could have better things or an increase of income in a certain area. But if I don't never work on it, if I don't never do anything about it, it's going to always be what it is. I'm going to always be stuck in that particular area. I'm going to always be stagnant. If I don't ever read the word and I'm getting hit with all types of things, I'm going to always be feeling overwhelmed, anxious, because I don't know what the word says about it. I don't have anything to decree or declare. I don't have anything to pray with or pray for or pray about my situation. Okay, it says just have a few questions. How long will you waste time? How long will you bury your talents? A lot of us have talents that we bury because like I said, we don't want to take time to build it up. When we have to start somewhere, you can profit. When are you going to turn your talents into profit? When are you going to profit off of them? When will you learn to deny yourself? Say no sometimes to being lazy on social media, sleep, doing idle things or nothing to better yourself or elevate yourself. How long will you delay, put off opportunities? When will you stir up yourself to do what you have to do, or because it will never get done if you don't stir up yourself. You have to find something to stir up yourself. I'm doing this particular thing because sometimes you get tired of being stuck. You get tired of being stagnant, and you know there's more. And sometimes you got to start where you are. Start doing something where you are. Start reading the word where you are and getting an understanding where you are. You're never going to get to 10 if you don't start at 2 and build on it. You're never going to get or elevate or be more or do more if you don't start at the level you are and build on it. Okay, the more a slothful temper is indulged, the more it prevails. The more you wallow in being lazy and doing lazy activities, the more you're going to be lazy. Is basically what it's saying. Slothful neglect. Slothfulness neglects your businesses. It affects your life, your relationship with God. Because sometimes you put all this on the back burner. The word, prayer, education, increasing your skills, kind of some things I just said. Okay, we're in Proverbs 6, going to verse 12. And it's saying, a wicked man or a scoundrel, a villain, who goes about with a corrupt mouth, winks with his eye, signals with his feet, and motions with his fingers, who plots evil with deceit in his heart. He always stirs up dissension. Therefore, disaster will overtake him in an instant. He will suddenly be destroyed without remedy. A wicked man, that's a person that's perverse in his talk and his heart, who is against God. He has a bad nature and a heart of malice. He gives orders for evil, doing with the wink, signaling of his hands, and a shuffling of his feet. Those he stirs up dissension and discord. To get people to, he purposely does things to get people to fall into sin or things like that. Purposely, because he is against what God is or isn't about. Without remedy is saying he won't be helped because he's giving himself over to evil. He doesn't have because he doesn't have a heart of God, he can't be helped. I know it's different, but doing sin and being in sin, but not all the way consumed. They're saying this person is wicked and is all the way consumed, and he can't be helped because his heart is against God completely. We're moving to 16. These are the 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him. The first one is a proud or haughty look. It's kind of where you overestimate yourself and discount others. Haughtiness, conceitedness of ourselves, it starts in the heart, and the proud look is then, as it grows and festers and it gets bigger, it's seen and it's witnessed by others. The second thing is a lying tongue, falsehood, fraud. God is a God of truth, and he falsehood and lying, it causes confusion, and God's not a God of confusion. It causes discord and strife, and God is a God of peace. 3, the third thing is hands that shed innocent blood or murder. This does the devil a service when you're shedding innocent blood. The fourth thing, the heart creates or devises wicked plans, schemes, or imaginations. The fifth thing that God hates is feet that run swiftly to evil. It's kind of self-explanatory. It's impatient to delay. It can't wait on God. It tries to, it runs to evil. It runs to do bad in a quick and in a hurry. It doesn't give thought of righteousness or doing what's right or good or just. Number 6, a false witness who bears out lies or half-truths. This can cause an oath, covenant, or promise to be broken. And this is the second time kind of like a lie is mentioned. So therefore, God doesn't like lying. He's a God of truth and peace. And the seventh thing is a man who stirs up dissension among brothers, or discord. Um, and that's kind of what it was saying in verses 12 through 15. Is wicked man stirs up dissension and discord, and he was given over to his evils. It was no remedy for him. They overtook him. He was broken by them, and God didn't him help him because his heart was against God. The 20 through 35 basically is talking about how basically adultery. It says, "My son, keep your father's commandments and do not forsake your mother's teaching. Bind them around your heart forever," keeping them close to you, basically. When you walk, they will guide you. When you sleep, they'll watch over you. When you're awake, they will talk to you. It will tell you what wisdom, your commandments, the teachings that you've learned more along in the Bible, what your parents told you that was good to tell and that was right. Because sometimes our parents didn't tell us what was right and wrong. Then they will speak to you and tell you what to do. For these commandments are a light. These commandments are a lamp. These teachings is a light, and the correction of discipline are the way of life, keeping you from the immoral woman, from the smooth tongue of the wayward wife. And we kind of deal with the smooth tongue, the person that's not necessarily a woman, but a stranger, a foreigner, somebody that's sinful in nature, that tries to trick you or deceive you and say stuff that sound good, may show you things that look good, that probably make you feel good or succumb to your desires. A person that does that, and then in the end you find out that it was a trick and it wasn't what it seemed. Do not lust in your heart after beauty, or let her captivate her with your eyes. And lusting in your heart could be the same as committing the actual sin, because that's where it starts, and out of your heart things grow and manifest. So be careful what you put before you, as we read in the other scriptures. Be careful what you put before your eyes. Be careful what you listen to. Be careful what you think about and who you think about. Verse 26, "For the prostitute reduces you to a loaf of bread." And one commentary I read, like, it reduces you to a loaf of bread because it's like you're being sold or weakened or devalued because you're sinning, and because you get sinning with a prostitute. And the adulteress preys upon your very life. Can a man scoop fire into his lap without clothes being burned? Can a man walk on hot coals without his feet getting scorched? So is he who sleeps with another man's wife. No one who touches her will go unpunished. Men, do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his hunger when he is starving. Yet if he is caught, he must pay sevenfold, though it costs him all the wealth of his house. But a man who commits adultery lacks judgment. Whoever does so destroys himself. Blows or wounds and disgrace are his lot, and his shame will never be wiped out. For jealousy arouses a husband's fury, and he will show no mercy when he takes revenge. He will not accept any compensation. He will refuse the bribe however great it is. So when this is talking about adultery, when you sin in this way, nobody goes unpunished. The prostitute or the wayward wife, she's punished. You're going to be punished. You can't bribe your way out of it. You will forever live with the shame on the inside. And let's see. Just like a person who steals, even though he stole because he was hungry, even though you sin because you gave into your desires, you still have to be punished for that sin. But I thank God that Jesus came, and he's saving, he's redemptive, and he saved us and died for us for our sins. Thank God for his blood and his saving grace. And that's all I have for today. Short and sweet. Well, kind of short and sweet. I don't want to take up all your time. I thank you all for coming on. I thank everybody for supporting me, from family members to church members to friends. I appreciate it. It helps me kind of go on, because I have had days when I didn't want to, but this helps me be accountable, and helps me to try to finish. Just want to pray that God bless you all today, that you all have a great day, and just remember, God. I mean, we all fall short, but if we turn to God, he's there with open arms to receive us, to get it right. And we have to actually turn from what we're doing. We have to stop what we're doing and do what God called us to do in those situations. Again, I appreciate you all for watching, and y'all have a good day and be blessed. I love y'all. Bye.